going to build a TV show about you.
No, stop it.
About me?
Yes.
Okay.
Right, it wouldn't get made, for a start.
Okay, She's More Than a Woman is the title. Oh, the genre? I think drama. Who would play me? Viola Davis. Who plays my best friend? Charithra Chandra. My theme song for the show. Oh my God. I can never remember songs. Maybe A Tisket, A Tasket, sung by Ella Fitzgerald. And I'm not gonna sing it, because all I know is a tisket, a tasket, ah yes, that's it. A tisket, a tasket, I lost my yellow basket. That's all you're getting.
Beautiful.
It's dreadful. Yeah, but that would be a good theme song, actually, yeah, for More Than a Woman. A tisket, a tasket. Yes.
I want it to be a dramedy, you know, as in, I see it sort of in the White Lotus genre, as in very funny, but the humour of awkwardness and real life. I'm played, I think, by, well, actually, if you saw White Lotus, probably the older me is played by Michael Imperioli. Do you know who I'm talking about? From The Sopranos as well. And he was so good in that. And then to see him playing sort of embarrassing man in his 50s, who's just a sort of slightly disgusting, but in a fairly relatable way. Or the young me in my fantasies played by Paul Mescal, because I think my wife fancies Paul Mescal, and it might get me brownie points with her. And my best friend, maybe this is in the Paul Mescal version, is played by Karen Gillan, because she plays Amy Pond in the Doctor Who episodes I'm watching at the moment. She's his, more or less, well, his friend. She happens to be rather beautiful, and I think also would appeal to my 8-year-old, so it might get him to watch, although it might not be appropriate. So what have we got? We've got a White Lotus-esque dramedy with Paul Mescal and Karen Gillan. It's called, maybe it's called Deplorable Me. Right? It's a play on Despicable Me and the deplorables that Hillary Clinton talked about. And the theme music, because I like the White Lotus theme music, goes like this. Right? I didn't invent that. A friend of mine showed me how to do that. Maybe a bit more melodic.
I think it should be a bit like Question Time. So it's Question Joe, that's what it'd be called. And it'd be hosted by Fiona Bruce. I will be played by any child actor. And it will be unscripted, and it will just be a child, probably around the age of 11, being asked questions about the economy and increasingly complicated questions about human rights and war, that sort of thing. Whatever the child says will have to be implemented as a national policy. I think the theme tune of the show will just be a long single tone noise for 24 minutes. This tone. Welcome to the show!
The title would probably be something simple. The Ellie's Adventures. You know, sometimes actually you can think about the names and elaborate, but actually sometimes pure and simple, straight to the point, that's me. Ellie, that's me, and she's off on her adventures. My theme tune would be Country Road. I love that song. It just makes me happy, it's sing-along, and it's very catchy. Who would play me would be Amy Lou Wood. She, like, for me, it's comedy, she's amazing, and yeah, she's just such a lovely actor and a human. And who would be my best friend would be Olivia Colman, because I can imagine them two getting on really, really well. Two incredible women, British. There'll be a lot of humour, a lot of laughs, and to be honest, that sums me up. I love laughing and I love having a good time and going on adventures, and I can imagine them two together are a good duo and a good double act.
I think it would be untitled until the last minute. So let's call it Untitled. What is the genre of this uncommissionable show? Like between genres, unclassifiable.
Theme song?
Theme song, do 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 do. Just on a loop with different lyrics written by lots of different exciting people. The lyrics don't necessarily need to sort of be relevant to the show, just any lyrics. We'll be fine, I think, probably in the end. By the way, that's not me doing an impression of what the recording will sound like. That's what the actual theme tune would be. Maybe it should be animated, and so maybe like a red panda or a raccoon or something like that. Probably voiced by some kind of chatbot, so mainly unscripted.
The name of my show would be Pluck Boy, right? Because of the eyebrows. It would be a comedy. It would be a rom-com, yeah? It's about a boy who can't find love because his eyebrows are too big. You know, people see the eyebrows, you know, people think they want the eyebrows and then they see the eyebrows and he just gets ghosted. So it's about him coming to terms and using them as a romantic tool as opposed to a burden. Yeah, this isn't autobiographical, by the way. This is just straight off the dome. Okay, so we've done genre, we've done the title. Who would play me? You know, just for costs, I would play the boy in this story, even though I have no relation to this story. You know, Idris Elba would be the understudy, because I think, you know, with these things, it's important to get someone who looks like the actor in question. So, I really think if Idris was on screen, it would be, the difference would be indistinguishable. Special guest roles, who else has got massive eyebrows? Weirdly, I can only think of Alistair Darling. Has he popped his comedy cherry yet? I don't know, but he will in this show. And the theme song, let me just get into the zone. So it might be like, okay, right. So mine would be like this. Pluck Boy. Pluck Boy. Would you watch that?
I would totally watch that.
Was that better than the others?
A show about my life. What would it be called? I mean, it would just be the Sharon Show. I mean, does that sound good? It sounds kind of good because of the alliteration. Okay, so Sharon Show. The genre would be horror. It would be a horror. Who would play me is I wouldn't play myself. I'd get someone like one of my daughters would play me, or both of them, because it's a sort of psychological horror. So it's a bit Lynchian, you know. So sometimes it's one daughter, sometimes it's the other. Who would play my best friend? Any of my previous co-stars, because we'd have, you know, a rapport already and a chemistry, or Amy Adams, or Connie Britton, because everyone's always saying that we should make something together because we look a bit alike. Well, Song for Sharon, Joni Mitchell, but you know, maybe covered by Karen O, just to make it a little bit spookier, you know, slow it down a bit. Sounds like a really good show, guys. I don't know if you agree.
Yeah, I'd watch it. I'd totally watch it. It sounds sick.
I'm not that happy with the title. Might need to keep workshopping the title. Maybe it's more of a... I'll keep thinking about the title. Maybe it's called... No, I've got nothing.